Hi, I'm Barry Clark. Welcome to the Mortgage and Property Podcast, brought to you by Mortgage Monster. Now sit back, relax and get ready for top tips, tricks and advice to help you with all of your mortgage and property needs. Hello and welcome back to the Mortgage and Property Podcast. Hope you're all doing okay. Today we're going to be talking about all things Mortgage Monster and where it came from, why it exists, our goals and maybe even some of our highs and lows. Today I'm joined by Leonie. Leonie's one of our trainee brokers. Hello mate.
Hello.
How you doing, you alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, thank you. A bit nervous?
A little bit.
Alright, we'll start with some nice easy stuff. So, just going to ask you a few easy questions. What's your favourite TV show?
Hollyoaks, definitely.
Hollyoaks, is that still going?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, cool. What's your favourite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic drink? What's your favourite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Rosé all day long.
All day long, alright, cool. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? We need to keep it clean for the podcast, please. Alright, cool. So thank you very much indeed. So basically the idea of today's podcast was just to kind of, it wasn't my idea at all. It's actually the guys who do all of our digital marketing said that we should work out, or at least do a podcast on, how we came about, what we do, a bit about me and that sort of stuff. And I absolutely hate talking about me and, the business I'm fine with, but I don't overly like doing podcasts, but I've been kind of bullied into it. So do the best we can. Literally, these questions have been thrown at me about 3 or 4 minutes ago, so I'm going to kind of get them as I go along. But I know that the guys wanted to kind of do it this way, so at least it was a bit honest and a bit raw and that sort of stuff. So I know you've got some questions for me. Let's crack on.
So do you want to tell me a bit about yourself, bit of background, how you got here?
Okay. How early do you want me to start, like years and years ago, since I was born? Like,
we haven't got that long. Maybe what inspired you to get into mortgages and how did you get there?
Alright, so that's a bit of a journey. So I finished school, went to university, got my Bachelor of Engineering in Computers and Networks, but while I was at university I also had a full-time job as well. So my dad was in the car trade, so I probably 4 or 5 days a week sold cars, and then the other 2 or 3 days went to university and caught up on the work I missed out on. Graduated from university with a Bachelor of Engineering, Computer Networks, woohoo, and then never touched a computer really again in my life. Went straight back into car sales because that was the only kind of what I really liked doing. Really liked kind of chatting to people and yeah, I was alright to be honest with you. So I went back into car sales, which I absolutely loved to bits. And then around about 2002, mum and dad split up, and dad decided to go live in Spain. So I kind of went with him because I was the only one of us 3 kids that weren't with anyone at the time. So I ended up going to Spain. Dad's dream was kind of open up a bar. And then just kind of
that was amazing.
Didn't actually open a bar. I'd been a barman for a little while at the age of about 20 or 22, which was amazing, in a holiday resort. And then kind of fell into property. One of our regulars, she had an estate agency, so I think we got an estate agency. So I went to come give it a go. So I started doing a little bit there. And then fell into kind of overseas property. Worked for a couple of kind of larger companies, real estate companies that would kind of take people on for a couple of days, handhold them, show them the area, really show them what there is to love about property, and then kind of give them a tour of the area and also the property as well. And if they liked it, they'd buy something. If they didn't, then they wouldn't. So I did that for kind of about 5 years or so. Absolutely fell in love with that. Really, really good. Just met new people all the time. Got to show them the beautiful area that we lived at the time, which was Majorca in Spain. And show them all local areas up and around. After that then we bought some property, tried a bit of developing for a little while. They went really, really well, right up to the point where the whole economy globally crashed. So we just about got up with skin of my teeth, get rid of all our cars, and had a boat and everything else on quad, and had to get rid of it all.
Oh no.
But thankfully came out kind of not only on money, which was good. I had to go back to work again, so I went back to property and then worked in, where was I? Cape Verde for about 18 months. That's pretty cool. I was in Egypt for a while, Bulgaria, kind of went all over really. Egypt was pretty good. I was in Egypt for kind of best part of a year, 18 months. Kind of the global problem at that point really started slowing down. So kind of came back to UK and just kind of started again really. Found myself in about 2009 or 10, whatever else it was, back on mum's sofa.
Nothing better.
Got to start again then. So
home cooked meals, free washing, starting again.
Put big boy pants and off we went. Kind of got into again overseas property. Got in with the company that wasn't kind of overly happy with because we found out we were selling stuff they didn't necessarily own. So very quickly kind of got out of that.
Yeah.
And then started working back with an Egyptian developer again, who built hotels. He built hotels and sold hotel rooms. We then worked with a couple of SIPs and SaaS companies to kind of help us package those to kind of help sell those. And we dealt with a lot of mortgage brokers at the time, tons of kind of mortgage brokers and financial advisors, and they all seemed to be quite happy. They all seemed to be too much a bit wealthy, and I thought, yeah, that might be right to go.
Sounds a bit mate.
Yeah, so I fancy that. But it was a job as well that I think that I could, you're very much around people all the time. But it's a job you could very much, speak to people and love, and I think that you could do it as a career really, really long term. Whereas I think maybe, if I'd gone back into something like, car sales or something like that, there's only a certain age that you kind of work to before it starts, not to be harsh, but...
Can't be selling cars at 60.
you can, but over that point you would have progressed and that sort of stuff. But this I found was, financial services is a job that as you get older, people deem you as being more... I'll probably just be more senior.
Knowledgeable.
But people think it's being more knowledgeable, and actually works in your favour, kind of being a little bit older. So I just looked at kind of what career we could do, what we need to kind of get into that career, and mortgage broking was, it came out top. So I did my exams, did them while we had paternity leave, paternity leave when Jessie was born, and then kind of got a job a bit later on. So it's amazing how much stuff you have to basically learn after that when you actually start to become a broker. So yeah, that's how my broker story is.
So what is your favourite thing about being a mortgage advisor?
Helping people, 1,000,000%. Helping them, whether it be in, from your first time buyer that comes and sees you, not sure how to do it. You can take them from kind of not knowing anything at all up to kind of make them feel confident enough to go out. People don't get taught about mortgages at school at all. They just kind of, absorb little bits and pieces, try and do a bit of research online, and it all gets into one big kind of muddled pot basically. And they come to see us, and people feel, they're kind of all tensed up when they come in, but we'll sit them down for a nice cup of tea, and you'll basically just see them relax over the course of about 45 minutes an hour and just open up a little bit.
So what would you say to a first-time buyer that has no mortgage knowledge and they come to see you for the first time?
Let me explain mortgages to you. Basically, mortgages they're not overly complicated. Well, if they would, I probably wouldn't be doing them. I'm quite a simple person. But it's because it's such a large amount of money involved. It really freaks people out. Whenever money's involved about anything, it kind of freaks people out. So mortgages and property and that sort of stuff. And I think it's our job just to kind of make it a bit less rubbish. Moving house is terrible. It's the most awful experience in the world. You have to move everything into boxes. It takes 4 months to do, and then at the last minute you could very much lose the property and work on for the last 4 months. And there's so much kind of emotion enrolled in that. If we can just make it a bit less rubbish, that'd be brilliant. And we start off the very start of the process by doing things like talking about, just what goes into mortgages really, explaining what a term is, explaining what a fixed rate is, explaining about loan to value, explaining about all these different things that, people just, and I don't know why they don't know. It doesn't get taught at school at all, and we just need to, help people understand it, because it's not tough, it's not difficult, but just if you've never been through it step by step, it won't make any sense.
No. And what would you say your typical day-to-day is at Mortgage Monster? What would you do from the moment you get in till the moment it closes?
Well, depending on what day. I'll normally get in probably somewhere after 9 o'clock because I'm not very good at timekeeping. Maybe past.
Just before lunch.
So kind of not very good at getting on time. So I've normally kind of done some running around in the morning. I'll get in, make a cup of tea, kind of make sure all the team are all okay. Make sure that any problems we can get kind of sorted out, whether it be kind of, being snatched off for kind of social media stuff and working out a plan for that day or what videos we're going to do later on. through to helping out any of the advisors with any potential issues they've got with clients or anything that we need to overcome. So we normally need to sort of those kind of, I'll sit with everyone and make sure everyone's all okay. So that kind of takes up the first part of the day. Next part of the day will then be just whatever needs to get done. So it'll be, helping clients, placing mortgages, making sure that, everyone's all okay and we work as best we can all together as a team, really. But sometimes it is a little bit tough. I've got a lot of my own work to do, some of my own mortgages to do still, so I'm not fully off doing mortgages yet. So it might mean that kind of I can actually relax when everyone goes home at kind of 5 o'clock, and then I can kind of start my day.
So what time would you say your typical day finishes?
Well, I like to go home for Love Island, right? So by 9 I'm doing all right, basically. But some nights I won't be, and some nights, we will have late nights if I do need to get stuff done, or I'm trying to work on stuff in the evening. I work better in the evening, it's nicer, it's quiet, I don't need distraction, so, I will occasionally work till quite late. We just got to do what we need to do to kind of get the job done, really.
What would you say that you look for in an employee when you're hiring someone to join your Mortgage Monster family?
They probably need to kind of fit in, like the environment in the office is a really fun one. It's like we do work hard to make sure that, he fell off the chair. We'll look for an employee. So basically we would look for them to be able to integrate in the team really, really well. We have an absolutely brilliant bunch of people that work for us, a complete mixture of people, from old to young to crazy to quiet, and it's just everyone gets on the office really well. So basically it's just I want to make sure they fit into the team. We're a really good ethos, we have a lovely working environment, and I really don't want to take away from that. So it's just about their ability just to kind of get on with everyone, get on with their job. We don't have any kind of like in our office, everything's out in the open. Like no one really has any secrets. Everything's out in the open. So everyone basically gets equally ribbed. It's quite a nice, like kind of quite a light-hearted environment to kind of work in, really. So I just want to make sure that we don't lose out of anyone who we take on. They've got to integrate well with the team. They've got to be able to take a bit of a joke. They've got to be able to put up with some fairly crass language. They've got to be able to, just get well with everyone and just create a nice working environment, really. Oh, and they've got to be able to do a job quite well. That'd be quite nice.
So what would you say the main aims of Mortgage Monster are?
Main aims? Aim. I want to be able to educate people, as many people as we can, along the journey that we do, along the journey that we're going on, basically. So our main aim is to help as many people as we can to get a mortgage. That's what our main aim is. If it's possible, then we'll work really, really hard at it until we get them done, get them through. Whether they want to buy their first property, whether they're moving, whether they're buying their own council home, whatever it is. If it's possible and plausible, we'll try to help as many people as we can.
And what were your plans for Mortgage Monster going forward for the future?
So going forward, it's kind of morphed into something which is kind of brand new. We do have to look kind of further forward. We're starting to run out of space in our old office. That means we've just gone into our second office, which we're in now, recording today, even though we haven't quite got all the furniture set up yet. And really, I don't have a cap on where I want it to go. I don't have an in plan of where I want it to go. I just want to kind of keep on going, while we can, and do what we need to do to better help service all the people that we've got asking us for information. Whether it means taking on more admin, whether it means taking on more brokers, a larger social marketing team to kind of help us out with that. While we're in demand, we'll keep going to kind of service that demand. End game is, maybe end of next year we might have a third premises, and we'll just kind of keep building it really and kind of see what happens. I want to keep doing it while I'm enjoying it, while everyone's getting paid and having fun. So.
And are you proud of what you've achieved so far? I know we're all proud of you, but are you? I never kind of take the time to stop and look at what I've done before. I just kind of always just keep marching forward and marching forward and marching forward. So I never really take the time to kind of stop, have a look around, and
I know you guys will say, I know, you know, you just said it now, and Lee says it and that sort of stuff as well, but I don't really take the time to kind of stop and have a look and see what we've done before. So just, you know, don't really have time for that. We'll just keep on kind of get head down, marching forward and that sort of stuff. And it's great to have a brand that, you know, people really, really like. And that for me is the best thing, is we've created something that's amazing, that, you know, we didn't know when we first, you know, started on the journey 3 years ago, where we're going to go, you know, what was going to happen. In fact, when we first started up Mortgage Monster, we had loads of resistance. It was quite harsh, actually, that we'd kind of put together a plan. We put together a really good, what I thought was a really good brand. You know, we put together an ethos which we're going to help as many people as we can. We start for kind of first time, you know, our main target is people that don't really get, you know, looked after or listened to, or kind of get shoved about a bit, and we want to kind of stick up for those. In terms of first time buyers, when we first started off with our brand, we got tons of kind of negative, you know, people talk stuff to us, oh, that's a stupid idea, that's ridiculous, that's never going to work, that's stupid, you know, that's silly, that's babyish, you know, oh, I'm a mortgage monster, look at me. And it's not that's what we got. That's what we got when we first had it. So, you know, it was the hardest thing for me was the fact that I questioned it in the first place when I shouldn't have done. You know, and that was probably one of the biggest learning curves for me, is the fact that, you know, I had something I think would do really, really well, and you know, when we have worked hard at it, it seemed that it's been really, really well received, really, really well received, and that was probably the hardest thing, was knowing that, you know, we have done it, it is right, people are kind of absolutely got our ethos, everything that we try and do. They've got the fact that we're really approachable, we're really chilled out, really laid back, we just want to help as many people as we possibly can. And that's now come across. Before we didn't have that across, we had a name, we had a brand, but we weren't really getting our message across straight away. But I'm glad to kind of look at those people and go, look, it is working really, really well, we are smashing it, we're absolutely killing it. And yeah, I'm proud of where we are, what we're doing, really, really proud. But I should probably just take a bit more time to
appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, really. But okay.
So what would you say to someone starting out as a mortgage broker? What would you say to them?
Get yourself in somewhere where someone's really going to handhold you and teach you the trade, because it's all very well kind of, you know, getting your exam and that sort of stuff, but really I think you have to be, you know, a sort of person that really does want to help people. So it's not, you know, we wouldn't necessarily take on, you know, sales guys or whatever else. Oh, it's all about money. It's not. It's all about the client. The client comes first, no matter what happens. Client outcome is the most important thing. And, you know, being genuinely interested in people, you know, generally liking people, that's going to make you a really, really good broker, because you're generally interested in people. You're interested into, you know, the difference it's going to make to their lives, the difference that, you know, going from a 1-bedroom flat to, you know, a 2-bedroom flat will mean that, you know, it will just make a massive, massive difference to their lives. You know, being able to move out of their parents' house and that sort of stuff will make a huge difference to them. And it's about understanding people and just trying to do the best for them, really. You know, we want to make sure that we give you know, any broker wants to be taught how to do it, wants to be handheld all the way through it. You know, yes, you have to do your mortgage brokery stuff, such as, you know, all of your sourcing and your letters and all your bits and pieces. There's lots of kind of regulation. All that stuff can kind of be taught, but you know, we really want to make sure that we put the client first, and that's not really what I say to a new broker, but that's what we'd want from a broker.
Yeah.
I mean, the advice we'd probably give to a broker is that, you know, a new broker is find a firm that you're comfortable in and watch everybody, hear what they say, hear what they do. You will hear people around you and you'll kind of hear them speak and you'll go, God, I wouldn't like that. If I was a client, I wouldn't like that at all. You'd hear other brokers and you'd be, wow, they sound really, really good, I would buy from them. So you'll kind of very quickly kind of find your own style, find your own style, and find the way that you want to actually interact with people. And it's probably the way that you want to be treated, to be honest with you.
Okay, so what's a weird thing that not many people know about you?
I'm trying to think what I can say that isn't too bad.
Don't need to be bleeped out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I've done some kind of I've lived abroad for a little while. I've done some crazy stuff. I've done parachute jump and bridge jump, which you haven't seen. That's where you jump off one bridge and before you slam into another one, you kind of pulled away. Done a bull run as well in Pamplona. That was quite scary.
You're a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
A bit of what?
I knew you was going to make me repeat that.
Bit what?
Okay, moving on.
No, I wouldn't say I was a trend junkie at all. I like to I don't know, try things once, know I've done them, and kind of know
Draw
it
a line
down
under
and
it.
go, yeah, that was fantastic, but I'm never doing that ever again.
What do you do in your spare time outside the office?
So basically spend a lot of time with family, would socialise with friends and that sort of stuff. God, it sounds like I'm reading off someone's CV, you know?
No.
Some of the stuff normal people write. Well, I like to get trashed at them. No, I don't really. The other thing is quite interesting, anything really with an engine, to be honest. We have lots of old broken cars that I quite enjoy doing stuff too. I've never really grown up from being kind of 17 years old and everything we have is lowered. Not big wheels, with a big exhaust.
So loud.
Yeah, exactly. Subaru's very loud.
Just now everything's wrapped in purple.
Exactly. I never got to this now where absolutely everything now is purple moving forwards.
Does your wife hate purple yet?
She's getting there. Bit by bit, everything is purple. So, but yeah, it's alright. Any more questions?
Yeah, so I just have one quick question. If you were to get a meal deal, what would your ideal meal deal be?
Ooh. Now, I'm all about value when it comes to meal deals. If I can get individually priced items for about £7 and I can buy them for £3, that sounds amazing. Absolutely brilliant. So, in terms of meal deal, value for money, legally stealing from Tesco's, job done.
So what would you get?
Some sort of triple sandwich. Depends. Co-op's got good at the moment. Co-op, you can get Cornish pasty. Well, best not get any more from Co-op.
Co-op,
other retailers
ban him.
are available. But you can have a triple sandwich. You can have a little kind of one of those shaky things. Smoothies, yeah. They're good, about £3 worth. And then I would definitely say, whatever goes.
Triple sandwich, Cornish pasty, and
it's a lot.
Bit of balance, get yourself a smoothie.
Let's even it all out.
Fair enough.
Brilliant. All right, cool. So, thank you very much for listening. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, and hit that bell button, and you'll be notified of new episodes. We look forward to welcoming you again soon. Thank you.